Hello, hello, hello. So, just some news about SubAligner for the week. So the new thing this week is that everything from the Funktion-One crossover settings page is now available in SubAligner. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I had several people asking me for more Funktion-One speakers, and a lot of people want the easy option, and so this is it. Everything from this page is now in SubAligner. Of course, if you have Funktion-One speakers and you would like to measure them and upload them to Tracebook or send them to me, I'd be happy to add them to the app. But this was the first step in moving in the direction of having more Funktion-One products available in the app. So feel free to add any questions or suggestions as comments on this video, and I'll be happy to try to answer those either now live or later on. Hi, Noah. Good to see you. Okay. So let me move my picture around here to make this bigger. Okay, so let's look at what we have here. So on this crossover settings page, it's pretty cool, and I really appreciate it, by the way, when manufacturers make all this stuff really easy to access. Not only do they have all of their settings here and it's all very clear, but it's also on a web page that you can access from anywhere, and it's easier for computers to read, so it's easier for me to add it to SubAligner. So let's talk about this. So we've got here an Evo X with a BR118. So how would you do that in SubAligner? Well, you'd go in here and you'd choose Funktion-One, Evo X. Now you get here and it says manufacturer recommended, and you might wonder what that means. Well, this is trying to keep everything consistent with the way I've been creating these pre-alignments in SubAligner. So typically, a preset with another manufacturer like L-Acoustics or D&B that's the preset that you choose in the amp. And so if this were an L-Acoustic speaker, then it would be the L-Acoustic speaker's K1 and the preset is K1, like something really simple like that. But here in Funktion-One, as far as I know, Funktion-One does not, sell their own amps or processors or anything. So they just have basically the raw elements here, the raw data, the filter settings that you can basically put into any processor or amplifier. So this is not really a DSP preset here. And so that's why I just write manufacturer recommended. And then if you want to see these values, like what are those filters that I need, when you click on Show Pre-Alignments, it'll have those here. And I know the text is small, but it's down here. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, there you go. So it's down here. It says, this is a weird way. I like to write BW. It doesn't matter. So it has each of the sources here. It's got the filters, and then the, brand, model, preset, all that stuff. So if you're looking for that stuff, you can still find it here. Anyway, that's why it's written out like that, but let me take you through this process again. So Funktion-One, Evo X, manufacturer recommended, and now we can choose our sub. BR118, I think is what we were going to do, right? BR118. Right, and so now you could go ahead and insert, fill out this form, put in your totals for count and distance, and then here we've got 1.7 milliseconds of delay on the subwoofer, and when we look over here, we see 1.7 milliseconds of delay. Now you notice there are 4 rows in this table here, and in my table, there's only 2. Why is that? Well, I've simplified this entire thing a little bit, right? Because, let me move this out of the way. No. Okay, because these are all the drivers that are in the Evo X. By the way, I'm not an expert in Funktion-One, so if I say anything incorrect about Funktion-One, please feel free to correct me in the comments for this video. I would be happy to have those corrections. Okay, so my understanding is that these are all the drivers that are in the EvoX itself. So that's why I'm treating this all as one unit. So I didn't import any of these other filter settings or changes in polarity. You shouldn't need these, right? You don't need these from SubAligner. You need these when you're setting up this box, but then SubAligner just treats this all as one element. So that's why it says, for example, 1.7 milliseconds of delay, 1.7 milliseconds of delay on the sub, because then it's treating all of this as 0 milliseconds, right? And that's why when you get to the next page, it says you need to turn down your EvoX by 6 dB, because over here it says you need to turn up your sub by 6 dB, and it's just treating this all as one unit, right? So that's why I've simplified the process. I could have imported these as separate sources, but I don't think anybody's taking apart their EvoX and like spreading the drivers around, right? But now what this does give you the opportunity to do is set up your EvoX and BR118 in different configurations, and then as long as you can get the distances, then you can use them with SubAligner. So I hope that's clear. Let me know if that's not clear. I'm basically just showing you how this page is translated into SubAligner, but you may not really need that, right? At this point, you may just need to know, hey, I have an EvoX, I've got a BR118, and now I can do my alignments in SubAligner. So I think that was the main thing I wanted to show you. Those have now all been added. So the next time you open up SubAligner, you can click on Funktion-One and you'll see a bunch of speakers in there. So yeah, let me know what questions come up for you guys and what other suggestions you might have for me in terms of features or speakers you'd like to see in SubAligner. All right, thanks guys.